Now we have, it's faster for some reason. At our old house, it took forever to upload videos to YouTube for some reason. But anyways, welcome to our leader call. This is gonna be super informal. So I know it's the end of the month. It's crazy. So if you're signing someone right now, totally fine. But I wanted to create the space. We wanted to create the space to chit chat as leaders and to kind of think forward, because we're kind of ending the first quarter of the year. Convention contest is ending. The April stimulus is finishing out, like all the things. And so, yeah, I'm game for chatting about what evs. I know some of the girls and I were talking this morning just from like a vulnerability angle. Justin's not in here yet. But anyways, we were talking about re-ranks. Like, do we want to shout those out? Do we want to celebrate that? I mean, obviously between colleagues, it's one thing, but to put it on a team page, that feels really vulnerable. And so we were chatting about that. And I was just asking for feedback. Like, do you guys want to be shouted out? You know, and Justin, he dropped below Sapphire, not like incredibly low, but he dropped below last fall sometime. And then it's just been, you know, whatever, maintaining 27-ish hundred points. And so he re-ranked last night. I'm like, you want me to shout you out? He's like, yeah, of course. He's like, it'll encourage people. I'm like, no brainer, just ask a guy. He has like a one-liner, of course. Why not? So that was exciting. Here he comes. So he can maybe share a little bit about that. I think he's going to talk on the team page too, just to kind of expound a little bit about, like, there's no shame. This is part of this business. And I feel like the less we come off as like, you know, unapproachable as leaders, the more our team's going to love us. And the more, I think this fear of, I don't want to discourage people. I think we have to just let that go, because I don't know that anyone would be discouraged by that. I think it's important for people to know that it can happen. Like, that can happen, and for multiple reasons, like you were saying.
Well,
like a rank, like losing a rank. It's not like it's our identity.
No, not really. I mean, there's ups and downs in business. There's ups and downs in life. I don't know. You know, I think that people would be shocked how many people aren't holding rank company-wide, and how big they are, and how many of them actually speak from stage. Mm-hmm. You would be amazed. Some of them have lost several ranks, plural. But it doesn't mean, I don't think that means that we should be ashamed of that or embarrassed. It's just life. There's ups, there's downs, and we deal with them. And I don't think this is really any different. So the immediate thing that we want to do, I think a lot of times in something like that, is we want to, you know, protect our image. And like, man, I don't want anybody to know. Well, there's a lot of people in the same boat that need to know that, hey, this happens and it's okay. It doesn't mean you're bad or wrong, or it's just, there's just ups and downs, and people need to know that as leaders, we have ups and downs too. We're not immune to ups and downs in life or business, and this is how we deal with it. So for me personally, I have no problem letting people know that I've lost rank. But the thing is, we can get it back. And I got it back this month. You know, the funny thing is that I don't know when I fell below Sapphire, it was last fall. The crazy thing, like August and September, I had these thoughts, and I even said it a couple times on videos, like, man, I've never lost rank in like 5 years. And then like the next month,
that was like,
so,
I think he said that to me.
Yeah. So the next month, bro. So I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just life. I don't know that it doesn't mean anything personally, or about your character, about who you are as a person. I think we just let people know that, you know, yeah, we fell back a little bit, but this is how you can get it back. So mm-hmm. I don't think there's anything to be ashamed of or embarrassed about. I think it's a great opportunity to just to lead really by true example.
Because we say
in reality.
we want to be vulnerable, we want to be authentic. But when I re-rank, do I want that shouted out? Do I want people knowing? Right? It goes back to that. But the first rank that I lost was diamond, and I lost it for probably like from September through like April. So there was like a half a year that I wasn't ranking as diamond, and it does mess with your brain. And it was really hard to do my diamond documentary, like knowing, one, I hadn't even processed in my brain like diamond or what I was supposed to be doing, and two, to me not ranking, and like they come and do a diamond documentary, I'm like, what? This is crazy. It's insane. But I think the fear is the thought of people is that they're the only ones that struggle. And Amy, we were talking about how our teams think that I think they think we're like immune, and that I had someone yesterday comment on the team page, I was signing someone and then it felt like they didn't end up following through. I'm like, oh, that's happened to me so many times. She's like, it has? So it's like newsflash to our people, because they think, well, you never get told no. Look at all the people you've signed. Well, yeah, we've gotten told no. They, so they're very limited in their perspectives. And so I think the more we can communicate and we don't have to always be talking about the struggle, but I think it's part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
who was talking?
Oh,
Angie. Yeah.
So I'm actually on hold, so I might have to hop off real quick. But so one time we called into the jewel line, and she's like, "Oh, I see you used to be an emerald."
Oh.
That really like messed with my mind. I was like,
huh.
Well, actually, it wasn't the jewel line. I think it was just I called customer service, and she made that comment, and I was like, I don't really like that. I don't really care to talk to you. Goodbye. But here's the thing.
Are you sure you want me to do the survey at the end of this call?
Because I don't like if you say things I don't like, I'm out. But like you were saying when you did your diamond doc, like you're still diamond, doesn't matter. I'm still an emerald. Like I have not held rank since the month that I hit it, and I hit it really high, like almost 2,000 points. So I was like, boom, I'm going right on to sapphire. Girls, I haven't hit it once since then. And so I just keep trucking along, but I'm still doing the things. My team is doing the things. We're processing. I'm still an emerald. See?
Right.
And I'm still driving a Lexus. So there you go.
Perfect.
Exactly. Amy, you were saying earlier that one of your girls, I can't remember what situation it was, but she was like super shocked about, so I don't remember what it was that she was
well, it always like our Marco this morning, but then, so I was talking about both sides of my mouth, right? Cause I'm big on like, be honest. Like, I think we need to like share, like, if I think it's okay for our teams to not know, like, what are we hiding, or even Melinda, we were on whatever call we were on recently. I don't know if it was a consistency club call or what. And she just said I was like, you're senior Ruby, right? And she's like, well, yeah, I was. And I was like, no, you are. But that's like started this whole conversation, right? And I also think that since they switched Leaders Retreat, where the emeralds go to Hawaii and the non-ranking emeralds and everybody below goes on Leaders Retreat, now the world sees and the world knows. But I feel like that's a little, it makes us be humble, and I'm okay with that, honestly. I just, you know what I mean? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like on that cruise, when our tags all got messed up, I was telling Kev, that was my year of stripping. That's what I called it. And I said, I feel like the Lord is stripping me of everything that my identity is in, little and big things. And so when I got my badge, and I don't know if I was senior Ruby at the time, and my badge said gold, like I literally laughed out loud. And Kev's like, are you going to fix it? I was like, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to let everybody on this cruise think that I'm gold because he is stripping me. Yeah. So I was talking about that today. I was just talking to Sally and Libby, and just in conversation, Sally's discouraged. She's only added 1. And she's like, Amy, you've added 8 this month already. And it's like, yeah. And I have months where I don't add any. And she's like, seriously? She's like, that would encourage me so much if I knew that, if I'd known that. I was like, oh my word. Like, because we get to see what our teams add, right? I know every single person where they are, but they don't know where I am. Mm-hmm. And so, they might think I'm adding 6 every month. So it was just good for me. It was right after my big old, my passionate Marco, like, we need to be honest and vulnerable. And so it's like, shoot, yes. Do you want me to tell you every month how many I add and how many I don't add? Because I will happily do that if that will make you feel good.
Right.
Well, I remember Tara Castaneda saying that this business comes in spurts. And it's like we're daily faithful and consistent. And then boom, it's like, the rains come. And when she said that, it was just like truth bomb to me, because I was like, that is so true. Because sometimes some months you're like, whoa, where are these people coming from? It's like, whoa. But I think our people need to hear us say that happens. But the key is, and like Justin was saying this morning, like there's a lot of reasons why a rewrite or why maybe people would lose rank. It's not just dependent, like Angie was saying, it's not just dependent on our leadership or our efforts. Yes, that has part of to do with it. We have responsibility there, but it shows like the health of the people on our team too. Like it's not a one-man cowboy thing where you can muster up and do it all on your own.
No.
For sure. So lovely to see all you guys on.
Yeah.
Anywho's, there's been a lot
Can I interject one thing?
Yeah.
When Amy was talking about that, it just made me think of how we are supposed to show honor to whom honor is due. So we want to honor people when they're at specific ranks, but sometimes I feel like we can take that too far in their value. And if we want to be honest, and maybe I'm just the only person that, just a second. Yeah. If I'm the only person that has thought this, but you're thinking, oh, that person's an emerald, that person's a diamond. We all have value. So if we feel that way about others, then we internalize that with ourselves. And I feel like our teams can feel that even if we're not communicating that, like, I don't know. I feel like it's just been an eye opener for me, and it's been a blessing to see that humility and that leadership with you guys. And it's encouraged me greatly. So I just want to share that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, talking about like worth and ranks, those of you on the Jules page, was it Lauren McCoy who shared that really awesome post about like your worth not being in your ranks and your like, do you guys remember? Was it Amy? Sorry, I'm driving. I can't look. Anyway, that's all like we're talking about right now. It's just kind of reminding me of that. But yeah, sorry, I can't see what people are typing. But anyway, sorry.
Just drive. Just
drive. I parked right now. I'm pulling up.
Okay. All
right. Yeah, and we were talking this morning, like it's such a mixed bag because people on our team page, I mean, that's everyone. That's like the wholesale people, the sometimes people, and then the business builders. So like where we would maybe be more vulnerable with like business people on our team, like the team pages a lot of times are like a mixed bag of everyone. And it is something that I am cognizant of when I shout people out, especially like people that are really rocking and rolling. Yes, they deserve to be recognized, but that can also discourage people as much as inspire other people. So it's like that balance of, hoping, working on helping everyone feel loved and appreciated and valued and things like that.
Do you celebrate people who complete the Consistency Club? I think that's a really big opportunity to celebrate people for just like the daily work, even if they didn't rank up or whatever.
Yeah, what did we do last month? I think it was the finishers, the people that were consistent the whole month. We did some sort of, I think, or maybe it was.
Wasn't that the bingo? Was that the bingo night?
Oh yeah,
that was
yeah. Yeah, that's what we did. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
we gave away like what 12 prizes, and it was anybody who just participated. Even it wasn't even just if you worked hard, you can play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think people that encourage, we're rewarding activity, not just productivity all the time. Mm-hmm. So true. There's a lot of really cool wins going on right now too. I know people are still working on goals. People are helping people. Angie, are you still on hold? Are you able to share a little bit about your Zooms and the success you're having with those?
I'll do it fast. Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, I am on hold. I'm trying to get someone's account canceled for another ambassador. Yes, I'm having tons of success with those Zooms, and it's like I found my niche. Like it's just like I come alive when I get on those Zooms, and I actually have 6 of those scheduled for today and 2 private calls. So I'm really excited about that. But I'm just going on and I am talking to them in that 30-minute time span, basically sharing a quick brief overview of my story. And I tell them that I'm going to share with them how their friend got started basically on the products. And I just go over, I say the benefit of being a wholesaler, that's what we're talking to you guys about is today. And the only reason I'm mentioning that is because I want you to be able to get the deepest discounted price. I give them the Sam spiel, and then I say, we're going to talk about natural healthy weight loss and added energy. We're going to talk about consciously clean skincare, and we're going to talk about gut health and how that targeting the microbiome can change everything for you. I talk about those 3 welcome packs. I show them, I hold the items up in front of me so that they can see it. And then I tell them all the benefits of becoming a wholesaler. I tell them that there's 3 buckets that people basically fall into. As a matter of fact, I recorded one last night. I've got to upload that.
Okay.
I go through those 3 buckets, and then I say, what questions do you have? And then if nobody says anything, I'll say, Julie, what specifically stuck out to you about the things that I shared with you? Or like, I don't let it go. I even got brave on one last night. And I said, okay, what was her name? Jess. I'm like, hey, are you, what do you think about this? Like, do you think this would be something you want to do? And she's like, yeah, I think I really need this. And I was like, okay, well, I can sign you up right now while we're on the call. And then I said, and she's like, okay, no problem. And I was like, you know what? Why don't I get your phone number? I'll call you back. That way these other 2 girls can go ahead and hang out. And she's like, okay, no problem. So I got her signed up for my person, but it's just, it has been really the missing link. And we've had 6 people go silver in the past week, which has been awesome. Yeah. So I don't know. I just like, I have this fire burning in me. Like the sky's the limit, and I'm just going to keep putting the pedal to the metal as fast as I can.
Well, and it's like that little slight pivot. It was Brooke's brainchild, basically, of taking a good thing that we were kind of doing and just tweaking it a little bit and maybe narrowing the focus and making the group smaller, and
Right.
we still do the 3-day things, but these little Zooms make so much sense, and we're able to close people more quickly.
Yeah. Because at first I ended a couple calls with, okay, well, if you guys have any questions, you can let me know. And then guess what happens? 0.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to waste my time. I'm just going to ask the questions. These people don't know me. If they think it's abrupt, then they can say, you know what? This isn't a good time for me. And I would be like, well, that's totally fine. We're on the call. So I just want to help you if I could. And we just kind of go from there. And it's worked out for sure.
Well, and like Justin was saying, like all these new people that are getting added, like it's a loss unless we help as many people as want to go silver.
Yeah, I
And
think
I think talking to them and helping them understand how important gut health is, or natural weight loss, or whatever the gist of it, whatever they're interested in, they hear it from a different perspective of reading some posts, kind of glancing over them or whatever. And there's other people on the call that kind of hold them accountable as well.
Yeah, and the face-to-face interaction you can't beat. Like a post, a message, an email, carrier pigeon doesn't compare to having, even if it's on Zoom, but the face-to-face, there's more of a connection with that. And we're seeing that. I have some Zooms tonight. We're doing it through a translator. So in Mexico, so it's that's a whole nother gig. I just need to learn to speak Spanish, but the face-to-face, it just does something. There's a connection there. When you have the face-to-face meeting. So awesome.
And even the phone call thing, because I have never been a big fan of that. I'm always like, I can just do it faster and easier if I just like get all the information and do it myself. But the other night I had some ladies here at the office and we were working, and one of the girls, she signed up the night she was here, and she's like, well, I'm just going to message them. And I said, no, you're not. Like, I'm kind of bossy. You're going to call them on the phone and we're going to sign them up. You put it on speaker. I'll put it in my computer. We'll get them signed up. 2 people we did that with. And she's like, oh my gosh, it makes all the difference when you talk to them on the phone. I'm like, absolutely. Because they hear your passion and they're like, I can do this right now and she can do it for me. And that makes a difference. And one other quick thing about the Zooms is that I do individual Zooms. Like I'll get my level 1, say Julie, I'm like, hey, Julie, you go get your people that you want on this call, not your ambassadors, your potentials. Like, I'm not being rude, but I don't have time to let a bunch of my ambassadors hear me talk about this stuff. They should already know about this stuff. And so when groups do it together, it seems like, at least what Brooke is saying too, is it's not as effective as when you hold the other person accountable. Hey, this is your call. You go get your people and get them on here. I'll seal the deal, but you get them here. And that has really helped a lot.
Well, and it's more duplicatable because they're taking on some responsibility for the call, and they're actually learning how to do the call when you do it that way. So then they can just keep doing Zooms. And that's one thing we're doing with Gisela in Mexico City, is like, I want to empower, I don't want to do your Zooms for you. Like, I want to empower you to be able to go and do these just on your own. And so when they have a little skin in the game and they're gathering their people and doing the parts, I think it's really important, and they're learning how to do it as you go. So it's a good thing.
And Melinda said, changing the verbiage has been huge. And I totally agree. Saying starter packs instead of welcome packs has been huge. I don't mention Plexus Perks. I talk about loyalty rewards program. And there's one other thing that I've changed up. I can't think.
Referral.
Yeah, the referral.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like, people are like, oh, I'll take a referral bonus. Yeah. I have a girl who just signed up like 5 minutes before this call. And she's like, man, I really hope I can work Plexus Sunday. And I'm like, girl, there's a $320 referral bonus on the line. She's like, can I make it? She asked me, can I post on Facebook? I was like, what? Of course you can.
Yes, absolutely.
I know Melinda and Stephanie have done some together, which is cool. That's fun. That gives you like a back and forth. And I've hosted some even with some more experienced ambassadors of mine, and they brought potentials, and it's really nice because I'll have them share. Actually, last night, Wendy opened the call and she shared her story, and then she turned it over to me. And so it was a nice like back and forth. And I felt like because her people have rapport with her, that made it super nice that she opened it. And she's used to, she's done this for a while, but I think it was also really motivating and encouraging because she's felt I don't know, it's a weird time. Like it just is, like in our culture, in our world right now, it's weird. And so we don't always feel motivated. But like I was telling her, is let's do the things. A lot of times when we do the things, then the feeling of motivation comes back. Who else has something that they want to share? I haven't looked at the chat. We were thinking about continuing the consistency club. You guys good with that? I feel like that's keeping people consistent. Thinking about some incentives. I'm thinking like the next 90 days. I feel like corporate sends so many incentives that I haven't done as many personal ones, but thinking about like helping people hit certain point goals, like in between ranks maybe. There are some people like really kind of in the no man's land in between ranks. And I think for the, in between gold and senior gold and in between gold and, senior gold and ruby, like making some maybe threshold points and creating some clubs or something that they can be part of in a recognition way. And I don't know if there'd be some prizes or something. That's kind of on my brain. Re-ranks in May. I think May is a great month to do that. There's going to be some stuff coming out. So Jules, need to pop on a call tomorrow. I don't remember if there's a time yet, but there's something fun coming out. And I don't know how much I can say, but I really, really like the fact that it's field-led, a field-led launch. And so Rebecca Folks, Melissa Eichenhorst, and Becky Page did a phenomenal job on the Diamond Call yesterday. And so Jules, pop on, and then the rest of you stay tuned because they have it really well planned out for this launch that's going to happen May 11th. So stay tuned.
And Amy, yeah, I agree. With silvers, one of the things we're going to wait and see what the corporate office puts out for incentives first, because I don't want to be redundant. I mean, we might as well use corporate money first. I mean, let's just be smart about incentives, but we'll see what they release. But I think absolutely a silver incentive for May we're going to do a silver incentive because the thing is, we're having a great recruitment month this month. That's really good, but really it's such a short-sighted victory if we don't convert new ambassadors to silver. So if we really want to grow, we have to convert them to silver. So I think continuing to focus on recruitment in May is important, but also having an incentive to really kind of motivate people to go silver is something I want to do in May. I think if we can make that happen, I think we'll see explosive growth. But if we do nothing and we don't convert people to silver out of this month's recruitment, then April was not a waste, but we'll see over the next few months, it was kind of a wash really, because if people aren't converted, they'll just drop off. So we'll be doing something like a silver incentive in May. We'll just give it a day or two at the beginning and see what the corporate office puts out for us first.
I also feel like I have a tool in my pocket because of these Zooms. So I'm going to try to get all of the new people that we've signed this month to host one of those, or even pop on one that I'm hosting for someone else, just so they can see how they go and learn. And then I can be like, hey, do you want me to host one for you? Just grab a couple friends, you know?
So something that I did this morning, because I was getting a little overwhelmed with the idea of following up with all the new people. Because something I noticed in these Zooms is what was nice about it, and Brooke said this, is you can close for your people basically on these Zooms. I'm like, exactly. Like that was the trouble for a lot of these people, is they didn't know how to close and they didn't want to sound pushy. And so being able to see me do it in a way that they didn't feel pushed, they were really excited about it, they saw their friends get excited about it, was really good example, but then they still don't know what they're doing. So this morning I had, like, for example, Melinda and I did a call. I had a gal sign up off of that, sign up, get her own call and sign people up like 2 days later. So she and her friends started basically the same day. I put them in a group because they all know each other. They all know each other's stories. And so I've got a message with them, and I'm giving them starting information, detox information. And they're all, I told them up front, I'm like, there's going to be days, they're going to be awesome, days that are going to suck. You might have detox. So we need to cheer each other on. And they're like all excited about it. But I had never done that before. I'd never thought of it before, of like those groups of people that know each other. And I can follow up with all of them at the same time, and they can keep each other accountable. Like, you tell them that, but if you don't do it for them, like, they don't do it. So I didn't ask them. I just stuck them all in a group. And so, yeah.
That's a really good idea. It's a way to work smarter, not harder, and connect your people with each other. And that's that whole like accountability thing idea about an accountability partner. I like that. We thought it would be fun to do a recognition piece for 1,000 Point Club. Molly's about ready to hit 1,000 Point Club. That's so exciting. Who else has something that's working, or some sort of win, or you can share where you're at? Just red dot yourself if you want. This is like open forum. It's super chill.
I was just relaxed. That I had 2 people go Fast Start Silver that I never even said the word Fast Start Silver. I just talked with them about the referral bonus and getting their family members to start with them. And it was crazy. It was like a very short time frame. I mean, one lady, we signed all of them up at the same time. And then the other gal, I think it was like 7 days or something. And so I don't know, it was just kind of out of the blue. But another thing that I've been doing, so the pivots and verbiage is huge. And another thing I've been doing, which I've always kind of done this, I've just never been able to consistently keep up with it, is Marco Polo with my new people. I feel like in order to build a sustainable team, I need to rebuild my team. We're always building our teams, right? But I really need to rebuild my team right now. And so I have just been relationship building with these people. Every day on Marco Polo, we talk about all kinds of things. We talk about, products and water intake and all of that stuff, but we're talking about lots of things. And it's been so nice just to enjoy that again. And like Angie was saying, getting them on the phone, that's huge. But I love Marco Polo because I can do it anytime. I don't have to like set a time with a phone call. I think signing them on the phone is huge too. I've done that a couple times and I'm just like, this is awesome. Just being able to be on the phone with them that first time, and they hear you and they hear your belief. And I really think that the 2 people that went Fast Start Silver, it never would have happened had I not been on the phone with them and not Marco Polo'd with them. And I truly believe that. So that's huge. So I'm going to keep doing that because I want my new people to be silver next month. I think that was about all I was thinking about. There's probably something else in there. It's been a crazy week, right, guys?
It's crazy good. Well,
Yeah.
I thought it was cool that you recognized that one of your students' moms had like kids that were over 18. And so it makes more sense, instead of them placing one big massive welcome pack order under one account, to get them signed up under the mom, right?
They got 4 large welcome packs. So like if you take the $520 commission off or whatever, they got 4 large welcome packs for like, I think it was $196, not counting tax and shipping or whatever. If we would have done 2 triplexes, it was like $178 with the special, right? 98, yeah. So she's like, well, duh. Why would I not do that? And, you know, of course, then we were talking on the phone. One of her sons has terrible allergies and he's working outside. He was one that I had in class. He's working outside all summer and she doesn't know what he's going to do because he's got to mow yards every day. And I'm like, well, let's get him on triplex. You're going to have plenty of product. So I think that she'll probably end up having her family, you know what I mean? But yeah, it just kind of dawned on me like, well, she could do, I was kind of like nervous to try to, I calculated it several times because I was like, if I tell them wrong, she doesn't get paid, we're going to have a situation. But it's a no-brainer when you send them the side-by-side. They're like, well, of course, why wouldn't I do that? I have 2 kids over 18 and I have a husband. So there's my 3. The other girl actually just started talking to her neighbor, and then she signed her husband up because she wants him to secretly take it. Of course, that's how it all starts. And then her mom. So anyway, I don't know what's coming next month, but I'm sure we could duplicate it in some sort of way where you can break it down and do the side by side. Mine was really yucky and written on paper. And I was like, since I did that, I was like, I need to make this so it looks nice, but it never happened. But it doesn't matter because it's still there, right? So yeah.
I have a quick question, and I'm still on hold. If somebody goes super silver, can those all be level 1s?
Yeah. Super silver.
Because you know how it says something like you have to have 10 points out of your outside leg, but like if all of the girl, there's a couple people under people, but it's not like anyone is a strong leg for her. Like I don't even think anyone's silver under her.
They can all be her level 1s. The outside leg point thing confuses people, I think, when they're trying to go silver or super silver, because they don't have an outside leg. It's like they all have level 1s typically, okay. Or like, you know what I mean? So it's not
even gold. One person could recruit 20 people, and they're good. They're golden.
Right.
Right.
Or like someone that just ranked gold last month, she has her granddaughter is gold under her, and so that made her gold, and so she had to get outside leg, right? She had to get 2 more people so she could be gold.
I think they just put that probably so somebody doesn't sign up one person and that person adds everybody, right? And that way, yeah, they just, but yeah, I don't see why, yeah. Because I mean, we say a lot of times, like you can get yourself to gold, but you can't, you know, after that, you really need like the team or whatever. So yeah, anyway.
Oh, do you need me to be
I'm going to look at that. I think there are outside leg requirements for gold.
Are there?
I need to look at that. Obviously, silver, there's not.
I actually, give me a second. I was just looking at a graphic the other day with it.
Okay.
Hang on. I'll be right back.
I need to double check that.
Isn't the outside leg just as long as you're wide? So it's like if you had one person here and they can't have 19 people under them. So your outside leg would be like 2 other level 1s.
Right.
Right. You can have 19 outside legs.
Right. But since we're talking about it, I think we should find out what that
Someone
is.
can get it in writing.
Well,
sure.
Just to make sure we're not putting out any bad info, but
I
What if
thought
they
my
were-
guess was good enough, but that's fine too.
Well, and she said, yeah, right. Jody. So, but Angie was asking if they all were all level ones, would it be okay? And the answer to that question is yes, because there would be several legs. But what she says is true always. Yes.
Hmm.
I'll share a little bit about the Zooms just to give another, like if any of you are hosting Zooms where you're not making like crazy closes, because we're not doing crazy closes on my team, maybe one or two here and there, but I'll tell you what is happening, which I think is kind of cool, is I've got a couple people. Yeah, I've got a couple people who London wants to show you her birthday present.
Ooh.
This is our Corona kitten.
Nice.
What's her name? Rascal.
Aw.
And it's a fit, let me tell you. So, okay. So
He's really annoying.
I've got a couple people who like worked in the past and then they just kind of like leaders who have kind of, for lack of a better word, just taken a break, and so I just messaged them and just said, hey, I don't even know if you've been following on the team page, but this is kind of what we've been doing these past couple of weeks. And I would love to host one for you and your people. Are you interested? And two of them in particular were like, totally. Yeah. And one of them, she had no people on her call, but when the other girl hosted last night, she ended up having two people on my friend's call. It wasn't even the call she led. And then another girl didn't have anybody on the call, but just different people from our team. We post the links in our IPA thread and just say, if you want to pop on, these are the Zooms we're hosting this week. If you want to grab some people, you know what I mean? So anyway, two of my people really weren't overly effective Zooms. One ended up getting one ambassador, but what has happened is, and I messaged them after and I was like, you guys know this, don't be discouraged, whatever, like sometimes this happens, blah, blah, but both of them were like, oh, I'm not discouraged at all. That's lit a fire under me and I'm in. And she's like, and that made me get back in the game of reaching out. And you know how hard it is sometimes when you get out of the game of just the consistent reach outs. How even me, when we go on vacation in the summer for a week and I legit stay off grid for a week, when I get back into it, I'm like, whoa, okay, here we go. You know what I mean? And so for both of them, they were like, we're back in the game again. And so I said to Kev, I was like, it's so weird, right? Like it really, in my book, it was kind of unsuccessful, but big picture, it wasn't, because they're back in the game again and they're excited again. And they're like, I forgot how much I liked this. So I think, so that's a win to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's huge. Well, I hosted a call for someone and she was going to have like 6 people hop on, and there was a storm in her town, and there was like 2 on or 3 on, and then they were like in and out. And thankfully I had hit record. And so I've been recording every one of the Zooms that I've been doing, because invariably someone can't get on at that particular time, or they've reached out and the person said yes but didn't hop on. And so it's been a great follow-up tool also to record and pop up to upload really quick on YouTube. And then they have the link and they throw me in a 3-way chat and they post the link and say, hey, either thank you for popping on, here's the recording if you've missed the first part. Megan and I would love to hear what resonated with you, what questions you have. We're doing a $10 off Blitzy, till tonight, that kind of thing. So it's been a great follow-up tool. And I agree. I feel like it's really encouraged the people that are hopping on. And I told the girl, I said, I think she felt bad that like she wasted my time or something. I'm like, it's not a waste of time. Like, we cannot despise the day of small things. One person even on or that listens to the recording of that, that can be a game changer for their life, or whatever, so yeah, it's been a good little tool. And Jody, thank you for recording yours, because I totally used yours as a template.
My whole thing was just based off of Angie's Zoom that she did in the Consistency Club. But what I really like about them is that, like, when you do a ton of, hey Willow, stop. She stole my ice. Anyway, when you put like a ton of work into like a 7-day challenge or whatever, and then there's like no engagement, and it just like sucks the life right out of you, and you're just like, what a waste of time. I didn't realize that was going to be useless. And I mean, we try to convince ourselves it wasn't, but it kind of was. What I like about the Zooms is it's like, if it didn't work out, it was 30 minutes. They're like, all right, whatever, 30 minutes. It's like, and you practiced, right? And then I've been recording them all because when you really nail it, then you're like, sweet, I have a really good 20-minute video. And that's what happened with my sister the other day. She was asking me some questions. I didn't really have time to answer them in the moment, but I wanted to catch her while she was motivated. And I was like, hey, I just did this last night and recorded it. Would you watch it? Do you have like 20 minutes? And it was like the first time ever that she's paid attention to anything, and she loved it. And it was, you know, because it's so concise, it's such a good tool to share. And I just stopped recording like before questions or whatever, and it's super helpful.
Yeah, and I've been really amazed that I've been able to keep it under 30 minutes. Like, I think mine have been an average of like between 25 and 33. And some of those included people sharing their story and opening it up for questions. So that's been really cool. And because it's in us, like it flows. And the more you do them, it's like, it's not a waste, because every time you do it, you're practicing, right? And getting better at presenting and asking questions. And even like Angie's talking about, like the strong close. And Stephanie, a lot of our people, I realized that because I got on a Zoom just with me, a level 1 and her potential, and I closed that girl. By the time I had driven to the furniture store, like I went through the whole spiel, and she shared with me like what she was dealing with. I was like, okay, well, would you like to get started? I know Debbie has talked to you about, you know, that triplex starter pack. Boom, she went and did it. She got the link, and she was looking on the team page last night, and she said, so these people that are like getting these stimulus bonuses, she's like looking at, she's like, how did they get their leads? So people, there is value in us closing for our people, because we've typically been doing this longer or have more experience in getting people closed. And there's not that fear factor, because we're not thinking, oh shoot, do they have enough money? Because we don't know their situations. Because I think a lot of people feel like they can't be bold because they know more about the person that is coming to them, you know? So.
Yes, and I feel like a lot of my new people, they don't want to feel salesy, but then they do the exact salesy thing. Like, you know, then they like, we have a product for that. Instead of sitting with their person, I think Melinda just said this, in their pain point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so when I get people on the Zoom, I can sit there with them and like, wow, how long have you been dealing with that? And how is that affecting your life? And like, as much as they'll open up and talk about it, and by the time we're done, they're like, where do I get this stuff? Like, they are motivated. I'm sick of being sick. More motivated than the person who brought them as a guest. Like, yeah. And so then their friend feels awesome about being that helper of like inviting them to something that's now going to change their life. So yeah, now not all the Zooms have been going well. Like I had 2 bombs with the same girl, and I basically decided it's because she's not coachable. She's going to do her own dang thing, and she will not do what I tell her to do.
How is it a bomb?
Nobody showed up, for one. And the other one, 3 people showed up, and all 3 of them excused themselves because she wouldn't stop talking. Like, and I'm like, oh my gosh. You know, and then afterwards, I'm lovingly sending her voice messages. I'm like, you know, so I'm going to share something with you that I learned the hard way. We never say this. And it's like, shut up is what I wanted to say. But, you know, there's that.
Jody was hoping that you recorded it.
Hey, Angie, are you still on the phone? No, you good? How are you? Will you say again how you're, are you just asking people if you're ready to get started? I can help you and walk you through it right now. Is that what you're saying at the end? Okay.
Well, you have to gauge it. Like one call, there was like 6 people on it. And so the people who were engaging that said, oh yeah, I might, you know, or they at least talked or something that I had engaged with at some point. Then I just called them out by name and said, hey, would you, you know, do you want me to go ahead and get you started? Or actually I said, which pack do you think you'd want to start with? If you were ready to start, which one would you start with? And then she said, yeah, I want to start with the smaller weight loss pack, or the weight loss pack you mentioned, because I didn't mention the 199s. I only mentioned the 199 if they want like weight loss and gut health. Because of course we don't want to overwhelm them. And she was like, yeah, I mean, I just came right out and asked her. Now, I that's not effective every time, but sometimes.
Well, I just felt like on a couple of ours, the closing was a little bit weird. Not weird, I guess I didn't know exactly how to leave it. So we just said that we would hop on, I don't know, start a 3-way chat, I think is what we did. Is that what Brooke?
Yeah.
So, but then I think that's good. But yeah, I like just saying, if you're ready to get started, I can walk you through, or I can, My kids are outside screaming. Hang on.
Or even just saying, like, I just went off a limb yesterday and I was like, I'm just going to ask her for her phone number because then I'm going to talk to her more. And that was successful. Now, yesterday, before that call, I had one where there were all these teachers on there. And so there were, I think 3 of them were potentials. And it kind of started to end weird, but I had my next call lined up. So at that point, I couldn't wait. I had to go. And so I said, hey, whatever questions you guys have, let me know. Or there were actually 2 ambassadors on the call. They were like levels 1 and 2 from each other. And they had both invited people, but they got 2 of those 3 signed up after I left the call. But at that point I couldn't do it because I had another call waiting.
And I think that's good that people see that and hear that, because your business isn't contingent on that one person getting signed up. And like for them to hear like, oh, hey, I have another call. We're going to, pop in, just chatting through Messenger and, that kind of thing, because it shows that like you're rolling, you're doing the things. And I think that it also gives some urgency and like, hey, well, there's a lot of people doing this. It's so good for third-party validation and like social proofing and stuff like that, because they're seeing that they're not the only one that's doing it,
And maybe just get out of your comfort zone and like write down a couple things that you might say at the end and just like force them out of your mouth. Cause like it's a little nerve-wracking to say, okay, you want me to go ahead and get you signed up now? It's not just like doesn't flow off our lips when there's a group of people, because can make people feel awkward. But I'm not trying to make people feel awkward. They came to the call because they're interested. And so if we let them leave the call, I've had some where they leave the call and 0 happens. So I'm going off the adrenaline of the ones that did make things happen. But just like force it out of your mouth. And then, because the worst thing they can do, we all know this, the worst thing they can do is say, I'm interested, but right now is not the best time or whatever.
I love that Brooke.
Oh, go ahead.
I love that Brooke says exactly what you just said, Angie, to her potential. I did that on a call. Somebody was, throwing something up, and I was like, why are you here? What were you curious about? And then they told me, and I'm like, so there's something that you're unhappy with in your, like, just, calling that, it was a smaller call and everybody knew each other, so it wasn't weird. But, and just calling people out on that lovingly, not in a bashing it over their head kind of a way, but like this loving, understanding way, like, you're sick of this. And so, I mean, and this is just all reality, guys. Like, everything in our life is going to take some sort of discomfort or effort to change, no matter what it is. So you're already uncomfortable. This is just an unknown kind of uncomfortable. So, that's something you have to answer for yourself. Nobody here wants you to do something you're not ready to do. But if you're ready to commit to you, this could be it. I tell people that all the time. I'm like, I don't want you doing this. I think that's part of what helps my people to see me do that. I take it back all the time. People start talking about they just want to try it for a month. I'm like, okay, that's fine, honey. I'm happy to help you try it for a month, but you're not really ready if that's your mindset. Like, this is going to take longer than that. And I think the potential appreciates that because I'm not trying to force sell them something. But then my people see that I'm legit. I'm not trying to sell their friends things. I feel like it works well. And it's honest.
Molly, we haven't heard from you yet. Lynn, Tammy, Melody, Gretchen. How we doing? Are you signing people up?
Yeah, I am going back and forth with her. She's trying to get signed up. Health classes, the Zooms have been fabulous as well. I agree with what everybody said. Those little verbiage tweaks are everything. I don't really have anything to say. Lovely to see you all.
I'm talking and I'm muted. You have someone that's really close to senior goal, right? Level 2. And yeah,
I've got someone like 3 points away from senior gold. That's on Rebecca's team. And then 2 other people that are like 10 points away from super silver. So pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And then I'm still gunning for like the last, I don't even know, what did I say? 25 points, maybe a little more to hit my goal, but we'll see. We'll get there.
Oh yeah. And convention contest prizes. Molly, you're about ready to hit the gala, and Angie, you're close to the gala, I think. Yeah, there's still, I'm curious how everything's gonna pan out. I feel like it's not like those points are reflective of where you're actually going to end because of all those retention things and silvers that get added once commissions process. So it'll be exciting. Melody, let's see. Melody re-ranked, which is super awesome. Senior Ruby. I don't know if you girls are at a place where you're able to pop on and say anything, but Melody, Tammy, Gretchen, Lynn, if you have something to share, we're so thankful. Oh, Melody's in between winners dinner and the 500. Yay, that's awesome. I know that there's a little bit of chitter chatter of, because of convention and everything that happened with that, of allowing all jewels to be at Leaders Retreat, which would be super fun so that everyone can be together. But I know corporate's in a tough spot because of like, they don't really know what's going to happen this fall. And so trying to get contests and information out with so many unknowns is tricky. Well, it was so awesome to see all of your faces. Yeah, motivating. I'm gonna pop off, and I know everyone's working on stuff and getting goals for the end of the month, and I have a hair appointment. Anyone else like feeling the the quarantine hair? Oh my word, hats are like my jam, but our hairdresser is going to my mom's house, and so I'm like, hey, I can be there at 1:30. I'll be there. So that's what I'm gonna go do. I need a highlight desperately. Alrighty, well, if no one else has anything else, we'll pop off and we'll finish the month strong. See you guys, thanks for popping on.